In this episode in the eastern Polish town of Rzeszów, you're gonna find me being censored by the big tech. But yeah, instead of calling it that, nowadays most of the locals will just call it giant. Walking around a gargantuan synagogue in a city with zero Jewish population, and eventually finding myself as the only non-white person in a xenophobic anti-immigration rally, even though the city was about to receive 2 million refugees. Yeah, and I got a lot of stares just by being here. Maybe it's time to bounce. So hit the like button down there, and let's try not to get any attention. I'm officially now in Poland. Welcome to Rzeszow. I'm still practicing on that. Just give me some moment, okay? Hopefully, I can get on the bus right behind me on this side. You can see it right here. Yeah, there's only one bus every 2 or 3 hours, and it goes downtown. It takes like 30 minutes. So hopefully, I'll catch this one because the next one will be next day. I'm now in the back garden of the Bernadine Monastery. As you can see right here, this is the monastery that you have just seen. It's absolutely gorgeous inside. And here, down there, is a Chinese garden. Well, but the only thing as I can tell you as a certified Chinese is that this is as Chinese as Panda Express. Oh wait, you mean that? Well, around the 60s, the city government and the people actually was thinking about building some monument to commemorate 1,000 years of the establishment of the Polish state. But the communist government was not exactly keen on the nationalism, patriotism thingy. So instead, they came up with this brilliant idea. So 2 giant slabs of concrete, and in the middle, you want to stand, the working class, the farmer, and a soldier. So they are standing side by side and fighting the bourgeoisie. That is why this monument was built. And it's named after, some kind of the socialist revolution to counteract the something, the typical Soviet world salad. But yeah, instead of calling it that, nowadays most of the locals will just call it giant. Stop censoring me, giant. Oh God. Okay, I have an idea, huh? You got it? Giant. we came to the city's newest landmark, basically. This walkway. Yeah, this pedestrian walkway over one of the major crosswalks is apparently one of the city's newest thing. And this is because yeah, if you look closely, these wood is actually a little bit different than the normal ones you'll find here in Poland. And that is because all of this is imported from Cameroon. It is one of the hardiest wood in the entire world. And that is because it needs to withstand the harsh winter here in Poland and also even harsher summers. And now it's lunchtime. I'm gonna take you guys to somewhere that I've been looking forward to coming back ever since my last visit in Poland. Probably, it was 4 years ago now. It is a bar milczny, which basically means a milk bar. This is probably one of the last few things that the Soviet era left that's actually very positive. Well, this is for workers and they can have their lunch there in those bar milczny. And the name mostly comes from the fact that they only serve milk. They don't serve any alcohol, which is as rare as a restaurant that doesn't serve Coca-Cola in the United States. So let's go check it out. And they are known to be very, very cheap and have very local and good food. Behind me, you can see that this is a little bit of a hill, and yes, this used to be a fortification in the medieval times, but as the Jewish people came in the 16th and 17th century during the heyday of the city, it quickly became the center of the Jewish diaspora. And quickly, this little hill became their cemetery because Jewish people cannot be buried with other people together here in most of Europe. But unfortunately, during the heyday of Jewish popularity here in Rzeszow was also the time that the Nazi Germany invaded almost 250 years later. At that time, actually 41% of the city's population was Jewish. And yet, after the Nazi invasion and the subsequent Soviet domination, less than 100 Jewish people from Rzeszow survived in here in Rzeszow. And there's about another 500 or so that escaped to other places and later returned. But after the formation of Israel, basically every single one of them left. And that is why now the old synagogue that was once destroyed by the Nazis is now reconstructed, but nobody is using it. So it has been turned into a museum. But now here on this little hill, there's a statue called Project 2001 that is basically standing as the only lasting remnant of the Jewish tragedy here in the city. So right beside the Lubomirski Summer Palace is the multimedia fountain down there. In the summer, this is where the children burn off their sugar high after they eat way too much ice cream, with all of the dancing music as well as a fountain that has basically just spraying water from the ground. Yeah, it must be paradise for them. But now in winter, yeah, it's mostly a place that you can steal a smooch from your newfound boyfriend or girlfriend if you don't want your parents to notice. But on the other side of the road, here is the Lubomirski Castle. This is their own proper castle. They practically own the entire city, so of course they need to have their own castle down here. And it is surrounded by a very old moat that is currently dried out, so you can actually walk down beneath it. But sad part is that you also cannot enter this building because it is now the municipal court. However, as I crossed this road, the plot of land I was heading into marked quite a dramatic shift in the tone of this visit. What is waiting for me on the other side? You'll soon find out. Where I'm in right now is the old cemetery of Rzeszow. And here I want to tell you a story about how Polish people are probably the strongest group of people in the entire world. You can see quite a few plots of land that's completely abandoned. But some other areas you can also see there are a few monuments and gravestones marking people who have died in the past 2 centuries. And most of them have little Polish flags, metal ones. On top of it inscribed are the years, all the way from 1830 to 1863, all the way to 1931. These are people who have died in revolutions that they have fought against oppressors, all kinds of oppressors, Austrians, Lithuanians, Swedish, Nazis, Soviets, you name it. The Polish people are the strongest ones. They have installed more revolutions than basically every single other nation combined. They want to preserve their own identity, their own country, and their own culture. And here is probably one of the best marks of it. And I mean that literally, because on some of the older gravestones, you can even find bullet holes of when they were fighting literally here for their lives, on top of where they are buried. I really hope that the city can preserve this historical landmark, because now it's turning more and more into a park of sorts with very little information about these people who have sacrificed their lives here. I just want to let you know that I, as someone as a visitor, still remembers, and I deeply respect all of these Polish people who have sacrificed their lives for freedom, for their own ideals. I'm pretty sure every single generation Polish that come after them will do the same. And I hope you like the stories and the histories that I brought to you about Rzeszow in this part of my video. And if you want to keep up with other travel stories, especially some of the historical ones, please consider clicking the subscribe button beneath me. And also, if you like this video, consider clicking the like button. And we still have a long way to go. Wait, this video is turning way too melancholic. So in this kind of situation, what should we do in this uplifting eastern Polish town? And hey, if everything fails, taking a walk along the Wislok River can never go wrong, am I right? Just look at this, it's beautiful.
You love the way I touch your skin with mine. We're in the skies, I can't get much more higher. You love the dreams we have since we were wild. Now we'll never let you go.
And a good day of exploring cannot possibly end with any mediocre food. So I went to one of the best local restaurants on the main square, and you can clearly see its caliber based on the decorations. And please, allow me to demonstrate the glory of this Polish feast. So yeah, my first course has just arrived, and it is a very hot turkey liver It is apparently a very traditional dish to be served here in the southeast Poland, and it smells really good, honestly. Look at this. The color is beautiful, the presentation, oh, gorgeous. I can't wait to dig in, so I'll tell you how it tastes like, okay? It's turkey liver. I've never had that before. Yeah. Quite livery, but the sauce is really dense and complements the taste. Yeah. Here's a shocker. This dish is like $2.50. I'm in like the best restaurant on the center of the plaza, like in the city, and appetizers start with like $2.50. I really don't know what to react to that. And the main course is pierogies. Well, I'm in Poland, I gotta have pierogies, right? There's no way I'm gonna leave Poland without having pierogies. So yeah, I think it's lamb inside, which is a very special local dish. Normally it's just cheese and vegetables, so this is like the high-end version of pierogies. So yeah, let's try to take a bite. Oh yeah. So good. It actually tastes like really good, like good lamb stew. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go have some more. You can just watch.
Day 2.
And before I leave this beautiful city, I have to try the local specialty, which is called Paczki, which is basically like some kind of Polish donut. But look at the line, it's just ridiculous. It has to be very good. And it turns out that every person who's waiting in front of me was probably buying for the entire week or for the entire family, because all of them go for like 10 or 20, so each person takes like 5 minutes to fulfill their order. So, you know, calculate with 10 people in front of me. Yeah, definitely the longest donut I have ever waited. But gotta try it if it's worth 1 hour of my time. I ordered a Nutella flavor. See, it has nuts in the front, so it's Nutella. And the receptionist was very, very surprised. She said, "Oh, you only order one." Oh no, like, so yeah. It's really good. It's very soft, and it's glazed with sugar. Oh my god, this is really good. No, look at it. The texture is really, really soft. Like, this entire thing is like almost weightless. Oh yeah. Oh, this is really good. Oh, about that music going on there. Oh yeah, it's some kind of protest because just about 200 kilometers north of here, Belarus and Poland is currently having a tiny bit of border dispute. You see, they're sending thousands of migrants here. So I think it's some kind of right-wing protest because yeah, they have a large mosque with a red cross on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's some kind of a conservative rally. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it must be some kind of anti-immigration rally, because a lot of people here, they are very much against a lot of people from outside. Yeah, because I'm probably the only person that is not white in the entire town right now. It's pretty ridiculous. Like I've never seen one person who's not white here so far. And that is very rare. And I think here is like the counter-protest crowd. The sign they say is probably like something like, "Our limit is humanity." That's what I googled it. And they're holding flowers and pictures. And of course the police stand in the middle. say even with my limited Polish, I can understand some lines. Like borders need to be tight. You know, people from Asia, Africa, they're not welcome in Europe, and Poland is for Polish only. So apparently it's yeah, typical rhetoric. Yeah, and I got a lot of stares just by being here. Maybe it's time to bounce. Right after I finished speaking this line, I was quickly warned by a local TV crew that it might start to get very dangerous for me. So I quickly stepped off the plaza while taking one last shot of this protest. And now looking back on it a few months later, it is so ironic that this city of barely 200,000 people that is so much against immigration would turn out to be one of the most important towns to receive all of the Ukrainian refugees in the conflict that was just about to begin. Sitting merely 40 minutes from the Ukrainian border, this city received more refugees than its entire population in the first 2 weeks alone, which is 2 degrees of magnitude larger than the Iraqi refugees lingering around the border with Belarus. A city that has a visible portion of its citizens who are so vocal against immigration would see its train station being flooded with more and more refugees, and surprisingly, every single person was joining in to help. Such a drastic change of their immigration policy as well as attitude towards outsiders is almost unheard of, and I guess in the face of a true humanitarian crisis, the local political disputes can only be described as petty and minute. In the past few months, Rzeszów has transformed itself from a typical conservative Polish city into the gateway of Poland that is always open towards its eastern neighbors. And seeing the exact train station packed to the brim with refugees seeking help and more volunteers offering help, it was truly a moving moment for me, because I was at this train station exactly 3 months prior. Oh, now at the main Rzeszów train station. It's a pretty utilitarian, probably Soviet-era building. And here you can see the bus is actually pretty interesting. They charge when they are parked. And they just extend their antenna and charge while they are waiting for the next departure. As my train slowly pulled out of the same station but at a very different time, I couldn't feel anything but a sense of conflict. This little city sitting at the corner of Poland is almost an embodiment of the Polish people and their suffering. They have gone through so much, and now they are at peace. But little did I know at that time, they were about to shoulder another heavy burden from the unforgiving history. Nobody could have thought a war could break out in the modern 21st century in Europe, and even fewer people would have predicted that Poland would serve another important role in this modern conflict. But before I could finish all of my thoughts, my train was approaching the mega city of Krakow, where I will begin my next leg of my Polish discovery journey. But I do not want to end the video in such a somber tone, so let me show you this extremely talented gentleman who is playing every single day on the streets of Rzeszów. He might be a better embodiment of the Polish spirit and the Polish people than anything else I can say. Please, if you enjoyed this video, consider clicking the like button down there. And if you want to follow me into Krakow, don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first one to view it in the next episode. Thank you, Poland and the Polish people. We still have a lot of stories to tell.